This time on Sparks of Discovery.
We discovered two unique and historic towns near the Tallassee River, plus enjoy southern parts of Alabama's largest lake.
The Tallassee River stretches all the way from North Georgia down through Alabama, before joining the Coosa River to form the Alabama River near Wetumpka. It's on this southernmost stretch of the river that we find a series of 3 lakes, each created by hydroelectric dams.
In this episode, we'll discover some of what these lakes and the surrounding area have to offer.
First, we'll look at the southern parts of Lake Martin, the largest lake in Alabama by volume. Because of its size, we're going to save the northern parts of it for a later episode. Lake Martin has a lot to offer, including hiking trails, restaurants, and of course, water.
From there, we'll venture through the town of Eclectic, which is a quaint little town that's definitely worth exploring. After that, we'll head just south of Lake Martin to Yates Lake and Lake Tallassee.
Both are smaller lakes situated near the city of Tallassee, where we'll discover some unique Civil War history and learn about the hardships faced by the city over the years, as well as the efforts to make a brighter future. Come join us as we discover more of the river region.
I'm Jess. And this is Price. We're the Sparks.
Welcome to Sparks of Discovery. Although there are no natural lakes in the state of Alabama, there is an abundance of rivers. Because of this, there are many hydroelectric dams built on rivers all across the state. One of these dams is Martin Dam, located on the edge of Tallassee County. When Martin Dam was finished in 1926, Lake Martin was created, and it became the largest man-made body of water in the world at that time.
Today, Lake Martin is a weekend getaway for people all over Alabama and beyond. There are plenty of notable sights and attractions around the area, so let's look at some of what this area has to offer.
Just north of Martin Dam are the Cherokee Ridge Alpine Trails.
Here at the main trailhead, there's a picnic area with a gorgeous view overlooking the lake.
3 trails connect off of this trailhead, snaking up and down the ridge all the way down to the water's edge and back again. You can combine all 3 trails to form one continuous 7-mile loop, or do a shorter route on just 1 or 2 of them.
There are also a couple of other trailheads nearby, each with their own unique hiking trails and scenery. Just a few miles away is the Deadening, which is the most difficult of all the trails, but by far the most rewarding. There are some truly spectacular rock formations which you'll get to go over, under, and through on this 4.2-mile hiking adventure.
This one is our favorite trail on Lake Martin. We usually hike it at least once a year.
Make sure you check out Chimney Rock, where daredevils and adrenaline seekers come to jump off the cliff into the lake. But we don't recommend doing so, as it can be pretty dangerous.
The newest set of trails is just south of the dam, along the Tallassee River. You can choose to take the Forever Wild Trail, which is nearly 5 miles long and follows the river for a bit before veering off and following along some streams before taking you up and over Saddle Rock Mountain, which is the highest point in Elmore County.
There is also the Cherokee Bluffs Dam Railroad Trail, which follows along the old railroad bed that was used when they were building Martin Dam. This trail actually has a few options, so you can mix it up and go up Saddle Rock Mountain, or follow the Highline or Lowline trails, or just hike nearly 3 miles to a nearby creek.
In 1952, Hank Williams Sr. was staying at a cabin at Kaladja on Lake Martin when he wrote the song Kaladja about an Indian who falls in love with an Indian maiden in an antique store.
Later on, a wooden statue of the Indian Kaladja was placed here at Kaladja Restaurant, and although the first few statues were stolen or vandalized, Kaladja IV is here greeting all the folks coming in for a great meal.
We highly recommend eating here if you're on Lake Martin. You don't even have to drive. Just take your boat and tie it up right at the restaurant's dock.
Also in the Kaladja area of Lake Martin, you'll find the Children's Harbor. This beautiful place is actually home to a camp for seriously ill children. Kids with serious illnesses can come here to enjoy summer camps in a safe, fun way with their families and other kids who are going through similar struggles. It truly is a wonderful and inspiring place and is beloved and well supported by the local community.
Children's Harbor has facilities available for rent for weddings and other events, including this chapel. They also have a thrift store just a short drive away where you can find some really great bargains.
Our living room couch actually came from here. In addition to the iconic lighthouse and Little White Chapel, another unique venue is the Church in the Pines, which is home to church services throughout the year, as well as being a beautiful wedding venue.
Also nearby is the Lake Martin Amphitheater, which hosts concerts and a huge fireworks display every 4th of July.
Just north of Kaladja is the Russell Crossroads, which is home to Catherine's Market, Springhouse Restaurant, and the Company Store. The Crossroads was developed to look like a historic village, and it's an interesting place to explore and have a bite to eat.
After a visit to Kaladja and Lake Martin, make sure you drive just a few minutes down Highway 63 to the town of Eclectic. It's a small town, but it's home to a quaint little historic downtown with a handful of shops, including one of the best boutiques in the area, the Original Grace Boutique, plus a great coffee shop, Cornerstone Coffee.
Drive through some of the neighborhoods for a look at some beautifully restored historic homes. It's an interesting town with a very unique name.
Just a few miles south of Lake Martin lies the second dam, Yates Dam, which forms Yates Lake, or as the locals affectionately call it, the Middle Pond.
This is the least developed of the three lakes, with a good chunk of the land around it being a wildlife management area managed by the Forever Wild Land Trust. It is much smaller than Lake Martin, but it does have a few great hiking trails, public hunting land, some really underrated fishing, and a public boat ramp.
Just south of the Yates Dam lies the smallest of the three lakes, Lake Thurlow, or Lake Tallassee. The locals call this one the Little Pond, and the city of Tallassee is built on either side of it. You can get some pretty incredible views of the Thurlow Dam from the Benjamin Fitzpatrick Bridge, which crosses over the river just above the dam.
The bridge is one of the longest curved bridges in the world at 1,738 feet, and it rises to 143 feet above the river.
It's especially breathtaking when the floodgates are open, creating a huge waterfall down the entire length of the dam.
The dam actually sits on the site of a pair of historic textile mills situated on either side of the river. The oldest mill, dating back to 1844, sits on the west side of the river. During the Civil War, the mill made uniforms and other materials to supply the Confederate Army before being converted to an armory in 1863 to make weapons. This was the only Confederate armory that was not destroyed by the Union Army during the Civil War.
The mill on the east side of the river was built in 1898, though it was destroyed in a huge fire back in 2016. In fact, there is quite a history of destructive fires in Tallassee. In 2009, the historic Hotel Tallassee was heavily damaged by a fire, which was found to be arson.
The building has been vacant since the fire, and it is unlikely it will ever be restored.
It was well known for the restaurant located here on the first floor, which had some great southern home cooking. I know I missed the fried chicken here. That was some good stuff when I was growing up.
One of the great features on Lake Tallassee is the Riverwalk and Nature Trail at Graveyard Creek. The Riverwalk portion is a wooden boardwalk along the bank of the lake, which stretches out to the Graveyard Creek Bridge. The Nature Trail branches off of the Riverwalk and winds its way up the hill with some pretty views of the water as well as peaceful forest scenery. This is a favorite place for locals to come and take a relaxing walk and enjoy the natural surroundings.
Like many other southern mill towns, the closing down of the textile mills had some really disastrous effects on the local economy. After years of falling into gradual disrepair with empty storefronts, Tallassee's downtown area is seeing new revival efforts come to fruition.
One of the first projects to be completed, and perhaps the catalyst for new efforts, was the restoration of the Mount Vernon Theater.
Another new business opened up just recently, Restoration 49 Coffee and Customs. This is the only combination of coffee shop and custom car shop that we've ever seen before, and it's a really neat addition to downtown Tallassee. It will hopefully be just the start of a new trend of downtown revival. Inside the coffee shop, restored antique cars give it a really cool vibe. You should definitely stop by and have a cup of coffee and take in the fun atmosphere that they've worked so hard to create.
This town has so much history and potential, it just needs some TLC and it can be a truly thriving place once again. Though there's a long way to go, things certainly seem to be on the right track here.
We hope you've enjoyed our look at Lake Martin, Eclectic, and Tallassee. There really is a lot to discover right here in our own backyard.